All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Hostile Gaming, Wargaming, Kitchen Table Wargaming, Hostile Galaxy. There's so many names that we're messing with right now. All of those things. We are here for game number 4 in the Escalation League that we're playing at Alter Ego Comics in Baytown. And this is my 1,000-point list. Different from the last time. I am excited about trying it out. We'll see how it works out for me. I've got 2 Scarab Occult bricks, I guess. They're 5-mans, Hellfire and Soul Reaper in each of them. The main difference is I spent I don't remember what it's called now, but the 10-point upgrade for this guy so that he knows 2 powers instead of just the 1. And I think that is the Bone Stock Squad. This one's painted slightly differently, and I know, so I can tell. Then you got 2 Ultramarines there, 2 5-mans. I have an Exalted Sorcerer, he's the Warlord. I'm running Cult of Duplicity, so he's the Warlord with the Relic, Master Misinformant or Warlord trait, sorry, and the Relic is the Demon's Eye Helm? Sure, I'm sure I said that wrong. I regen command points on a 5-up when my opponent spends those command points. So, it's worked out fairly well in most of my games, and the Warlord trait lets him redeploy himself and D3 units at the start of the game. Also bringing this big ugly, he's going to count as my Demon Prince. No wings, didn't have the points, and I didn't really want to put wings on him. He is also just carrying the 2 Malefic Talons because that's what he has. And points-wise, it's perfect. He has the Umbralific Crystal, so he can redeploy himself once per battle. And I think that could be entertaining to watch. And then I've got 2 units of Chaos Spawn. There's 2 Spawn together there, and then there's a third Spawn running around by himself. So that is exactly 1,000 points. And quite curious to see how it'll play out. It's been fun running these 1,000 Suns lately, so we'll see what this does today, because I'm playing against some Ultramarines. Okay, if you didn't catch my almost faux pas, I was about to call these the Ultra Smurfs. I still will call them the Ultra Smurfs all game long, and that's fine, because Michael calls them the blueberries, so, you know, I think Ultra Smurfs is slightly better. Ah ha ha ha.
I like blueberries, it tastes good.
Oh, there you go. So we got Gilliman right there. This is the Primaris Captain, you said? Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, cool. You got Mr. Redemptor. He is fully loaded, as is WYSIWYG. It's all good to go. So he's got all the nasties.
Funny enough with these, I don't know if they're considering them as Primaris, but when I acquired him, he was considered Primaris.
Yeah, it kind of is, because like Grey Knights can't take one because we don't get Primaris. So yeah, so it probably is considered a Primaris. But still just a Dreadnought.
Right.
They're just stingy with it. 3 Eradicators over here. I love to kill them. You got a squad of Infiltrators and then a squad of Heavy Intercessors. There you go. That is 1,000 points. This will be an intriguing little game. Michael, you said you spent no extra points.
Spent no extra CP, so I have 2.
So he's going to start off with his 2. And that is it. So we'll be back in a minute. We already know the mission, but once we get deployment done, we'll show you the mission, the map, and the deployment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Because this is a league game, the mission was already decided. So we're playing number 31, Rides the Machine Spirit. This is the one where you cannot set reinforcements up on or in range of objective markers. And there's the in-load data psalm action that you can do and score points based on how many objectives you hold. And possibly more importantly, but often forgotten in 1,000-point games, if your objective secure unit does the action for the in-load data psalm, then the sticky marker is your thing, so you can walk away from it and still get the points for it. So whether or not it comes into play in a 1,000-point game, I don't know. You also have the funny quarters deployment. So you can see I have hidden like a wee baby behind my obscuring terrain because I don't want to get shot to death, so everything I have is here. You've got some dense forest here protecting this. You got a big old chunky container in the middle. You got more dense forest on that side, and then all the blueberries are all back here. Most all of them are inside the building except for Mr. Gulliman and the Redemptor. So that is the deployment, and then these 2 buildings here, these are the border edges for us. And the secondaries, here we go. I have taken Mutate Landscape, Sorcerer's Prowess, and Wrath of Magnus. I'm going pure 1,000 Sun secondaries today. Mutate is the action, it's a warp action. Sorcerer's Prowess is I get points for That one is the one I get points for casting more spells of certain varieties than my opponent. That'll be easy to do today. And Wrath of Magnus is I get points if my Psychers kill units in the Psychic phase, which seems exciting and it fails me every game. So I should stop trying to take it, shouldn't I? But I'm not. I think it'll work. Michael is taking Grind Them Down. We march from a crag, which is sort of a banners type of a situation with the Ultramarines, but it scores better, and then Assassination. And that is all I got to say about that. So now it is time for the roll-off. So, good sir, I'll let you roll first, and we'll see what you roll, and I'll beat it because I'm Zinch. Oh, no, it's a 4. So, what do I get? I rolled a 3. That's what Zinch says about that. So, the Ultramarines are going to start this game off, and we'll be back for Ultramarines turn 1 in just a minute. It is the end of the turn for the Smurfs. They have begun. They have bled me some dust. It's a shame. Look, I did my redeploy. I moved into the building because I wanted Terminators who move slowly to have a chance to be a little closer. Not the smartest thing. I'm well aware of that, but I only lost one and most of another one, so it could have been worse? Question mark. What has happened over here is Eradicators came out and only one of them hit, and he rolled a 1 on damage. That made me giggle. I did spend the command point for the Unwavering Phalanx, I think is what it's called, so I get -1 damage on all the attacks coming into the Terminators, which didn't help against that, but against the Redemptor, it helped me a couple of times because it improved my saving throws with all his dust. It was very cheeky. Over here, these guys, Heavy Intercessors moved up. They've started the March from a Crag action, which at the end of his next command phase, he gets 4 points for doing that. Infiltrators moved out just a toe away from the objective. Gulliman tried. He's also just a hair outside of that objective. So, at the moment, this has ended. I've spent 2 of my 2 command points to keep 4 Terminators alive, mostly. And that is the end now of the Ultramarines turn 1, going into Thousand Suns turn 1 next. It is the end of the Thousand Suns. We've done some spreading out, as you can see. So over here, some Chaos Spawns ran that direction. These guys did the advancing and then mutated some landscape over there. These guys are inloading some data salvage. What else? These guys all just move forwards. I used the Umbralific Crystal on them. I was like, how did they get there? I don't remember now. So the Umbralific Crystal on them, so they jumped up 9 inches away from these here Eradicators, and so we're touching onto that objective to steal it. And you notice we did a whole lot of shooting at these guys. He rolled some really, really good save throws. So he failed enough to kill 1 Eradicator, and that guy's still on a wound. So I really did. I did like 4 wounds on Eradicators. It's a lot of shooting. That's okay. So all that stuff's going to come back and hit me, and that's going to be disappointing. Mr. Demon Prince cast the Sorcerer's Facade and teleported his happy self over here and did a psychic spell, which was a smite over there. Did 1 mortal wound. I was disappointed. But he did a thing. Spawn advanced over there, not very far. He just moved up. I was going to advance, and then I decided not to, and I don't remember why. There was a reason somewhere. He's just hanging out. These guys attempted to cast Presage onto that squad, and they failed. They cast Glamour of Zinch upon themselves on an 11, so I should have probably done that as a smite instead. But hindsight's always 20/20. So they're -1 to hit. They're not. This guy, he jumped forward. He, Doombolt plus Cabal points plus Super Smite just deleted that squad right there, which makes me happy, of course. I do feel sort of bad. Sorry, Michael. Not sorry. But then he spent my last command point and failed to cast Temporal Surge, so he's hanging out there like a ninny. So I don't know if he'll be here when we come back from the next shooting phase from the Ultramarines or not. So we'll see. That is kind of interesting and very disappointing because I don't like leaving them there, just all out there on purpose. So we'll be back. I did score 3 for Mutate. I picked up 2 for the Sorcerer's Prowess, which I realized, I think I said it wrong in the intro. It doesn't matter. I got 3 for casting spells, and then I got 2 for casting of spells that he didn't cast more of, and I got 2 for killing a unit in Psychic. That's how that works. So that is the end of my turn. We'll be back for the Smurfs turn 2 in just a minute. It is the end of the Smurfs' turn. So everything shifted over here. We got a Redemptor. We had, the Eradicators went back there and they're doing the Inload Data Psalm so that he can get some secondary points. Those are the mission bonus action. But all these guys here did the shooting. Mr. Poor Warlord, who couldn't get his spell off to save his life, literally died almost ingloriously to Gilliman's Hand of Dominion, but then what made it even worse is the Frag Storm launcher is what killed him from the Redemptor. That disturbs me. That shouldn't happen. But weight of dice, so it's a great way to get through things with a 3-up save. Then these guys are doing which one? Oh, they're doing the March for McCag. Yep, they're doing that one. And that was it. So he obliterated that guy, and then that one spawn that I had over here was the only other thing that Mr. Redemptor could see. So he declared half his shots into the character, who had a single wound left after Robute shot him, and then he evaporated my Chaos spawn. There's a little scorch mark right here, I think. And that's it. So he picks up 4 points for assassination, and he didn't get the We March points last time because I killed that squad that did it in the middle. Oh yes. I'm so bad. And we'll be back for Thousand Suns turn 2 next. All right, folks. So the end of my turn. I kind of did some dumb things. It's shameful, but it's true. I moved these guys out, so still on this objective because I haven't done the Inload Data Psalm action over here yet. No, I did on this one. This one is the OBSEC. This one I didn't mutate, so I didn't want to run away from. That's what I did. Over there, they are doing the Inload Data Psalm this time because we mutated over there last time, so we're just positioning. But these guys had to step forwards to be able to see Mr. Gulliman. These guys came backwards to see Mr. Gulliman. That squad came over here to see Mr. Gulliman. And boy, did we see him. So these first 2 units both did super smites and killed Gulliman. Like, it was ridiculous. Plus the Cabal points. Like, just 2 smites and that was over. Gilliman did not stand back up. I was excited about that. This squad, I think they did 4 wounds on him because they cast another super smite. It was a little bit bananas. So they did the super smite into him, took 4 wounds off. And then made a charge into the captain. I did re-roll it. I did have to use the CP to re-roll it because I was short by about 1 inch, but I needed to be on the objective. I was not anymore, so I really needed that charge to go off. I also, it's foolish. It's hindsight's always a thing. Demon Prince came over here. He did smite in and kill one of the Eradicators, and then charged into this guy with Swelled by the Warp and everything and did like a 1 whopping wound on that Redemptor. And then, of course, the Redemptor turned around, and we forgot Shock Assault at first, so I survived it. And then we remembered Shock Assault, and because, I want to be cheating or anything, he hit me, and then my Demon Prince died. And I was like, man, I shouldn't have done that, because the Demon Prince, without any weapons, is not as killy as other things. And I knew that. These fooligans over here just did a bunch of smacking into his shield and didn't do any kind of damage. He hit back, and I saved all but 1 wound, and it killed the hurt guy. So that's what I get there. And then this guy. He's the champion. It is hard to make things run away when they're Ultramarines because they get the extra bonuses to morale. But everybody died except for him, and he's only half alive. But he's still there. That was very frustrating. So I was really hoping to kill him and prevent his grind them down, and then I made the mistake of feeding him a Demon Prince to just mulch with a Redemptor. So that was on me. But he's still there, so he gets the We March for McCrag points for that one. And then he'll score 2 for Inload Data Psalm because he did the Data Psalm action. This guy. No, that guy over there. Which he completed it, so he'll get 2 points for having 2 objectives and completing the Inload Data Psalm. So that is it. That is the end of my Thousand Suns turn. It felt like he scored more points than I did that turn, but that's how it goes when you make foolish charges. So we'll be back. Ultramarines turn 3 is next. It is the end of the Smurfs' turn. So, being Ultramarines, Home Skillet just fell back and continued shooting. Although, Michael was kind enough to remember it's a -1 to shoot when you fall back, and that meant that he missed 2 of his 3 shots. So that was something. He was a letdown in the shooting phase, which made me very happy. So I ended the shooting phase with only losing 1 Terminator. he shot some of his other shots down into the squad of rubrics down here and didn't do anything to them. But he only rolled like 1d6 on the plasma cannon, 1 on the d3 shots for something else. Like everything was rolling 1s and 2s for the number of shots. So it was just bad dice on that one. So he charged in and completely destroyed my sorcerer. And I kept this guy because, of course, he's on the objective and we don't do morale. So that seemed like the reasonable thing to do. So I will still hold that. However, that means I lost my casting ability. It makes me sad over there. But that's that. This dude chunked a grenade and it bounced. Or did he? He hit, but it didn't wound. I think I saved it. So that was it. Mr. Eradicator back there, he one-shotted the guy that was in the middle, turned him into a glass statue, and then the other one died in combat. So that's the end of that. So we are going into the Thousand Suns turn 3 next. All right, folks, it is the end of the Thousand Suns turn 3. He's yelling at his model that didn't work. So here's what all has happened. Mr. Spawns, both of them, I guess, not Misters. They came up here and were hiding so they could do a charge without getting overwatched. And then I remembered, after I moved them very carefully so that I was 9 inches away from both Eradicator and Redemptor, and I fired my plasma pistol supercharged into the Redemptor, that he couldn't be shot because I was still in combat with him. That was very smart of me. So they were hidden and cute and could not get overwatched on the charge. It didn't matter. It was all whatever. They did Sorcerer's Facade to move over there so I could get shots in the Redemptor and then to the Eradicator, which worked out well even though I couldn't shoot the Redemptor. So I did shoot and kill the Eradicator. I did make the charge over here with the spawns. I charged with this squad and made it in to the Redemptor. The spawns, I used the strat for the choosing the mutation. I didn't realize it also gave you +1 attack. So I actually had like 15 attacks or 16 attacks, some crazy number with their 2d3 each, and then re-rolling their wounds, and killed the Redemptor with that. So that was excitement. These dudes mutated the landscape here. I didn't inload the data psalm this turn, I just realized, so that is what it is. All the shooting went into this guy, the captain. I only took off like 2 wounds, so I took 3 wounds off of him, sorry. But it wasn't the most overwhelming shooting. He did some good save throws, and that was that. So, at this point in time, that was a nice phase for me, and it is going to be the end of Thousand Suns turn 3. We're going into the Smurfs turn 4. It is the end of the Smurfs turn 3. It's not the end of the Smurfs yet. Homeskill is still alive. He's holding his ground right there. He's like, ah! The shooting happened. The charging happened. Mr. Captain came in. Did kill 2 of my dudes. Give him that. He killed him pretty dead. And then we smacked back and we punched him back too. So he died. That would be the end of that for that turn. And then we shall now move into Thousand Suns turn 4. It is the end of the Thousand Suns, turn 4 and 5, too. In turn 4, these guys did mutate landscape. These guys moved forward a little bit, and then the spawn charged and killed the dude on the objective. They did the inload data psalm in turn 5, because I actually wasn't there in turn 4. So in turn 5, I did that. So I did score that one more time. Did mutate back there. Where did I mutate? Sorry. I got my mutates mixed up. They did the inload data psalm turn 5. They did mutate turn 5. That's how that worked out. And so that's the end of that. And we got our primaries. That was the end of the game. It was fun. The psychic output from the Thousand Suns this game was probably more than any of my other games combined so far in the league. It was absurd. All of the psychic tests for smite in the last turn of smiting was all super smites. The turn before that was all super smites, I think. It was a little bit absurd.
Every turn there was 1 super smite.
There was at least 1 in every turn. It was a little obscene. But it was a good time. I enjoyed it. Michael said he learned some things. Thank you for the game, sir. Definitely had a good time. And I have to say the Chaos Spawns actually did some work in this game. I was very surprised with them. Having that 1 CP for the strat to pick your mutation was pretty cool.
They did more than the Demon Prince.
They did way more than the Demon Prince. That poor Demon Prince, I played him so wrong. I felt bad for him.
You should have given him wings.
Yeah, I should have, but it is what it is. I was trying him out because he gets 2 casts, and I thought it might be kind of fun to have an extra big thing to absorb threats, which he did. I mean, he did that part right, but I threw him away. Yeah, he absorbed a Redemptor, and then he didn't like it. He said, "Nope, I'm all done." So yeah, it was a cool game. So I hope y'all enjoyed watching this one, and we will. The final score ended up being 78-28. And there we go. That is it. So hopefully you enjoyed the game, and catch us next time for another Hostile Gaming, Galaxy, Wargaming, Battle Report. Yeah, those. All of the above. Catch you later.